In our last episode, we covered a yeast experiment that included a small taste of the Bluebonnet Brew-off. In this episode, we'll give you more than just a hint of this popular and often wild event.
Welcome back to Come and Brew It. This is our Bluebonnet episode. Here we are at the 28th annual Bluebonnet Brew-off.
Bam.
The largest single-site homebrew competition here in the United States of America. It's a lot of fun. If you actually win at this event, man, you've really done something. So here we have one of our own employees here at Texas Brewing Incorporated. He totally kicked butt. He took home three medals. Let's talk a little bit about to Pete here about what you went with. What'd you bring home, buddy?
Well, I got a third place for a Methiglen, a third place for a Robust Porter, and actually my biggest prize was the second place for the Belgian Dark Strong. And that beer was all extract.
Fantastic. One of the things that makes Pete unique is that he actually does primarily extract, and he totally kicks butt at it. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about his brewing practices and such here in a little later, and a few more segments in future episodes. But what we have next is we're going to talk to the winners of the Bluebonnet Brew-off with their best of show.
Yeah, kudos.
Here we go. Let's introduce you guys. This is Mike Treadway and Sean Vreeland. Yeah, we got you. But anyway, you guys, have you entered Bluebonnet previously?
Yeah, I entered in last year. I had just gotten started into homebrewing last February.
Okay.
2013, and I think I made one batch of some extract, and then a week later made another batch, and in that second batch I threw a bottle into Bluebonnet.
Okay.
And just wanted to be a part of it, so I threw a bottle in. And
fantastic.
We went last year and had a great time.
Awesome, fantastic. Is this your first time entering?
Yes.
And you guys are just brew partners, and y'all do all this together, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, fantastic. Well, what I'd like to do is, you tell us a little bit about the beers. How you guys just recently started brewing, I guess, or what, about 2 years now?
Well, I started last February, so it's been a little over a year now.
Okay.
And I started doing some all grain batches, and when I started that, I needed some help, and so it's my brother-in-law. So
okay, fantastic.
He came over, and he's been helping me, and then he started thinking he might want to do it too. So I was like, well, hey, why don't we just split the cost of stuff and start? We could scale up a little bit.
That's pretty awesome that you guys have gone from just from a few years of brewing to winning the biggest single site homebrew competition in the United States. So that's quite a feat for you guys.
Yeah.
So congratulations for sure. You get these awesome cool awards. If you win first place, you get a Stein as well as a first place medal. So that's very unique, I think, as far as the Bluebonnet's concerned. But anyways, you took first place in 2 different categories, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We took first in American IPA and also specialty.
And your specialty was?
It was American IPA with
American
rye.
IPA with rye. Okay. So, and that's the one that you did take the best of show with as well. Okay. Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, but let's crack it open.
Cool. So that one is
That's the
American IPA.
American.
That's the
Okay.
IPA,
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we typically will trade off, putting recipes together.
Okay.
And I'm kind of the repetitious one. I like to do the same recipe over and tweak it and fine tune it. And he's more the adventurous one. But what we do is we brew the beer together. We split the wort and each take it home.
Okay.
And this particular beer, we dry hopped it differently.
Okay.
And we might even ferment it a little bit differently as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Temperature's really different.
Beer, so
Thanks.
very clean. I guess you just used an American ale.
Yeah, just used Wyeast 1056.
1056. Okay.
And mostly the flavoring hops is Amarillo, and I think I dry hopped this one with Amarillo.
Okay. That's definitely one of my more favorite hops for dry hopping and aromas.
Yeah.
It's definitely
It's tasty.
nice hop. Fantastic, man.
Yeah, it was just unbelievable.
Right.
And it's funny is that when I went in and changed it, it was forcing me to put a team name in.
Right.
But at first, when we were registering together, I was like, well, we don't have a team name. We'll just leave it blank, and it let me do it.
Right. Right.
But when I went in and changed it, the software was making me put a team name in, and we were in the car, we're on our way somewhere, and so I'm like, I gotta, So I think I put like the Ancient Goat Hunters or something. Yeah. And I was like, no one's gonna see it anyway, And then lo and behold, we get first in 2 categories, and then a homebrew team of the year. It's going to say Ancient Goat Hunters all over the place now, because they left the other ones blank, but the Bluebonnet guys figured that out. So on all the rest of the beers, they put the same team name on.
That's great. That's great. Well, that's an awesome feat, and I know that's very rewarding. That's one of the great things. Not only do you make good beer, but other people know you do as well.
Yeah.
So that's the wonderful thing about entering competitions. Not only do you get wonderful feedback, but you also do get a little recognition if you do win something such as this. So that's quite awesome. And you can see here, this is one of the placards that they got for this is for their best of show.
Yeah.
And then also, since they did win 2 of the first place, they also got the team of the year at Bluebonnet, and you get this nice little placard here as well. So that's pretty cool, man. That's really awesome. And I'm sure that's going to hang in your little brewery, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm able to be in the brewery. The brewery's in the garage right now, but I've got a keezer that I built, and the steins look great sitting on top.
There you
go. Oak keezer, it's sitting on top. I'll put the plaques on the wall, and hopefully we'll win some more sometime down the road.
There you go. Well, I'm sure you will. What type of system do you use? Do you use like a Herm system, rim system, or are you just using a cooler? Or?
No, we've got a 25-gallon kettle that we wrapped with, some radiation barrier stuff. It's that bubble wrap.
Okay, yeah.
We tried a couple different ways to try to hold temp, and this one actually worked out pretty well.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And so you're just doing it like a single infusion type mash with just in a big pot with the. Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, we got three kettles, and we've been doing. We just started out doing some batch sparging, and we've had 2 pumps. I think one time we just said let's just fly sparge this and see how it goes, and so we kind of been going back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, these are you guys split the batch. And you fermented it. Did you ferment at different temperatures,
I fermented mine at 64.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
yours was a little.
You ferment pretty cool. I think I did mine at 66.
66. Okay, so about 2 degrees different. Yeah. Is there a noticeable difference between the 2 beers?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference, but I don't know if it was because of fermentation or I dry hop differently, so there's a little bit of different aroma for sure.
Fantastic. Okay, so you did do different dry hopping techniques.
Yeah. Originally, we planned on doing all the same, but I actually didn't have Amarillo.
Okay. So
when I was going to do the dry hopping, so I ended up doing Mosaic.
Mosaic. Yeah. Okay. Which is really strange. I'm not a big fan of Mosaic, but I don't really get the character from the Mosaic that I don't like.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it in this one at all. The Mosaic's going to be in that one.
This one here?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This one is the Amarillo.
This one here is Amarillo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually tried a new dry hopping technique with this one, and I don't think it was a success. But I considered it not. What I did is I thought, usually I'll drop just drop the hops into the carboy and just let them sit there for a week, and then I'll transfer it to bottling or secondary. Mm-hmm. So this time I thought, maybe I could get instead of putting all 3 ounces in one shot, I'll split it up into a couple different smaller pieces, and so I put 1.5 ounces in the carboy for about a week, transferred to a secondary on top of the other 1.5 ounces.
Okay.
Let that sit a week, and then kegged it from there. So I don't think it was quite. I didn't quite have that pop aroma that I wanted. Mm-hmm. But what the heck? It got first place out of it. So
and that's funny. One of the things that I found over the years in entering competitions and stuff, is a lot of times the beers that I think are the best, might not necessarily score well. Yeah, and then some of the beers that I'm not really fond of, other people really like. So, it is a subjective competition. Some things that people will like. You may have gotten some scores back that you didn't necessarily agree with, but that's part of what it is, and that's what you've got to kind of take with any kind of competition. Take it for what it's worth. The most important part is if you enjoy your beer, who cares what everybody else thinks, right?
Right.
So. But it is nice to be able to be recognized, So
yeah, definitely.
Well, let's open this one here, and I'd love to see the differences. So this one here, you dry hop with Mosaic rather than Amarillo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool, interesting.
And fermented cooler.
And fermented a little cooler.
And I dry hopped it for, I believe, 8 days.
So you can definitely smell different.
Definitely different smell and different character, for sure. I get some of the Mosaic for sure. To me, that it has a real pungent odor. Some people really, really like that. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's one of the big C hops. A lot of times, like Citra and stuff, also have that aroma. But this is very subtle to me because I've smelled some of them that smell, like straight up cat urine. So,
yeah.
But this is really nice aroma.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's fun to brew with a partner like this, because we all the time, we'll split it out and all right, so what are you going to do to yours?
Right.
I'm going to do that on mine. I'm going to do something different. And there's even times where we just use the pale ale I was talking about that I changed my mind last minute. He used 1056, the American ale yeast. I used the London ale. I just went with that one just to see, just to
Get
differentiate it, to
right.
see what the taste is different.
But these were both 1056?
These were both 1056, yeah.
Okay. Did you guys do a starter, or did you smack packs, or
We used a starter.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
How big was your starter? He's got a big 5-liter.
5 liter
He does
flask.
pretty big starters.
I have to go look. I typically do 2 to 2.5 liter starters.
2 and 2.5 liter
For that-
Okay.
that
for that
size beer.
particular beer. Okay. And usually that's one of the good things about 1056. It's a really common yeast, so usually you get really nice fresh yeast. It's
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
when you come in here and pick it up, more often than not, it's probably only about a week old. So
Yeah.
that's an advantage of using that yeast because you don't have to do as huge a starter. So a 2.5 liter starter with a brand new yeast, that's a pretty good size starter.
I'm always worried about not getting enough yeast. So
Well, and that's the thing as a homebrew level. The biggest mistake I think most homebrewers do make is they don't pitch a big enough starter.
Yeah.
And there's in a homebrew level, it's really tough to over pitch. So I think actually you're more likely to if you don't pick, if you don't pitch a big enough starter, that you're actually going to be hurting yourself. So
Right.
I think I would rather over pitch than under pitch.
Yeah, that's kind of what he does. I've got a 2-liter flask, and so I can only top out about 1.8 liters.
Right.
Before I've had some volcanoes before. So.
Right.
yeah,
Are you using a stir plate, oxygenation?
yeah.
Yep, we both
Fantastic.
homemade stir plate.
And that's one of the things that we harp here at Texas Brewing is constantly we talk about those are the most important parts of brewing is taking care of your yeast, because first and foremost you guys you're not necessarily making beer, you're actually you're creating an environment for these yeast to live in.
Right.
If you're not making these guys happy, you're not going to make good beer. So
Yeah.
but man, I'm really excited about y'all's beer. That's a great win. You guys are part of the Cap and Hare here in Fort Worth, which it's a good sized club. And can you tell us a little bit about Cap and Hare and how they have helped you in brewing and different knowledge and stuff like that? I mean,
Yeah, I came into the shop to, I don't remember what I was going to get. It was like my first or second batch of beer, and someone had the, Cap and Hare card, like, hey, you should join this club. And so I went to the first meeting. It was at the RAR Brewery at the time.
Okay.
It was the first meeting I went to, and was like, I don't really go out and mingle with people. That's just not my style, but I'm just going to throw myself out there anyway. Just, I don't know what the heck, I don't have anything to lose.
right.
And, immediately people were real friendly. Hey, you come sit over here and try this, try that. And I had a great time. I was like, man, I'm coming back.
Right.
And so, yeah, and then I told him, I was like, hey, you should join up. And
Right.
talking with people and sharing sharing beer and having tasting theirs and talking about different techniques and the forums online and being actively involved in those. You get a lot of information, and it's great to get it from people you can put a face to and you can know what they've done versus just
Right.
random homebrew talk people.
Right. Well, one of the things that we found, in clubs in general is they're from. It's a really broad group. They're from all different walks of life, and but there's one thing everybody has in common, and that's beer. You know, so and I think that only way you can, there's only things that you can get from learning from other brewers. You know, that it's a little more formal when you're face to face rather than trying to get stuff, you know, directly over you know, the internet. Right, because there's so many trolls out there, you know. So yeah. when you're trying to learn, it's like some people are, you know, giving you a hard time, and that's not what homebrewing is about, right. You know. And I always encourage everybody to join a local homebrew club. So a lot of fun, guys. Thank you, guys, and congratulations on your win. It's Thanks. Fantastic, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your beer, man. That's awesome.
So tell me about Bluebonnet.
What's a Bluebonnet?
Well, not that. Tell me about Bluebonnet.
What's a Bluebonnet?
Tell me about Bluebonnet.
Bluebonnet draws in a huge crowd of regional homebrewers who love to share their beers, get a little silly, and have a great time. But it's also well supported by our local Texas breweries like Franconia, Deep Ellum Brewing Company, Armadillo Ale Works, Rar & Sons Brewing Company, St. Arnold Brewing Company, 903 Brewers, Martin House Brewing Company, Revolver Brewing Company, Cedar Creek Brewery, Rabbit Hole Brewing, and even a few out-of-state breweries like Santa Fe from New Mexico.
All right, welcome back to our Bluebonnet Brew-off episode. Holy smokes. What a bunch of debauchery, right?
Fiasco.
Man, it's a lot of fun, a lot of great times. If you guys can't make it to the Bluebonnet Brew-off, at least make sure to try to enter. I know they cut off the entries every year now because, man, there's too many people that want to enter this thing. I think they cut it off at 1,500 entries. Make sure to check it out. Bluebonnetbrew-off.com.
It is a crazy event. I still cannot find my wallet.
If perhaps you're not able to enter the Bluebonnet Brew-off, we encourage everybody to enter homebrew competitions. They're a lot of fun. Oh, and they not only that, they give you some valuable feedback on your beer. So it's really a good idea for everybody to enter homebrew competitions, right? So anyway, what we have coming up is we're headed to Grand Rapids, Michigan to head up to the NHC, the National Homebrewers Competition.
We are. I didn't get a ticket for that.
Sorry about that.
Dude.
Anyway.
Hey, how about next year?
You betcha.
All right, okay.
We're headed up there to talk to all the guys at the NHC to talk about their beers. We're going to talk to a few suppliers and different things of that nature. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Also, we have in the pipeline, we have a few more experiments, different practices and stuff of that nature. And then also we're going to talk to Pete a little more about his brewing practices and extract brewing, just because we have a lot of people that come into the shop all the time and they're like, hey, I want to brew better beer. Well, what is their first thing they always want to say?
All grain.
All grain.
No.
Well, not necessarily. That's going to make better beer, but we're going to tell you how you can make bigger bang for your buck. Yep. Show you how to brew great extract beer, because that's the key to making better beer first and foremost. Not only that, along the way, some of these practices are going to actually make you're going to use some of this equipment to become a better extract brewer.
Absolutely.
To segue into all grain brewing.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
But anyway, Pete, you have anything else you'd like to add?
I just got to say that, you know, whenever I first started brewing, a lot of the guys that I looked at as mentors told me, man, you got to go all grain, all grain, all grain. I'm like, all right, but how do you ferment? How do you chill your beer and stuff? And it was kind of vague and stuff. So I did a lot of research, and I found a lot of best practices that I really incorporated into my brewing process, and I think the results kind of show how that panned out.
Right, exactly. And Pete, we're part of a local homebrew club here in the Metroplex. Has 300 plus homebrew members, and he actually kicked everybody's butt. We have a points race every year. It's a points race, and you enter 6 beers for the year, and he kicked all these all grain brewers' butt. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to share you his best practices and how he became a better brewer just using extract.
Absolutely.
But until next time, hope you enjoyed our episode of Come and Brew It.
Right on. See you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And that is how you do Bluebonnet.
How you do Bluebonnet, man? You eat and then you stay until forever.
Okay.
Hairball. I got a little tickle.
Okay, ready?
No.